Okay guys, get in here and look and get your nose in there and look at every connection on the superstructure. Just now, forget about the treads because you guys already know about treads. Look at the superstructure holding up the entire fire escape. Yeah, just go in there, start looking. Yeah. But look at every joint. Look at the cement in the walls now. Look at where they meet. Look behind. Look at the clip. Don't look at the front now. Look in the back of the clips. And start seeing what you see. Look, look at all the clips here. Look at all the bolts. These things just start getting eaten up. Look at the cement problem. So right here, this is the first floor. Everything you need to see is on the first floor. Sometimes a little bit of the second. So you already know that you're looking, is it original hardware or is it any evidence of maintenance?
Original.
Original hardware. Connections. Look at the bow. Look what happens when things, the cement grows or things happen. Look at the bow and the steel over here. Look at all the spalling. This is what rust, this is ice and rust, what happens when it gets inside. Okay? So these are all the things you have to concern yourself about. This is outside 75 plus years. No protection other than paint. No maintenance, no help. This is the foster child of egress out here. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's supposed to say it's supposed to be bad. Yeah.
Those being, it was another fire escape there before?
On these?
Yeah, no. You see those ones? That just come out of the wall?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it could have been something else before there, but it looks like these are all got notched in as you go along. And as you can see, when the cement is bad, it starts popping all your brick too on here. But you got pops, you got bends, you got rust growing in the clips, some smashed railing, and where the railings tie into the building. I mean, there's all kinds of issues. Yeah. So all of these, now you'd feel better if you were here and every one of these squares was out. All the rust behind every one of these was cleaned, and it had new square hex head bolted. Not just here. 8 floors or 7 floors, whatever you got here. So now you have to keep your tenants off of these things. You have to keep yourselves to make sure that it gets properly inspected, because a lot of this is just out of sight, out of mind, and if nobody's checking the people who are checking it, that's why these things have been getting away. But sadly, we're at 75 years. Right now, these things are hurting everyone. They're hurting the facilities guys, the tenants who come out for a smoke, they're hurting the firemen going up these things, but they're nice and painted though. So it's a nice painted fire escape hurting everybody, not a rusty one. And you guys need to just make them aware that you've seen something out of the ordinary. And all you say is, you know, is she going to get any problems with the fire escapes to my left? No, further down, right?
No.
They look good, right?
Yeah.
Then they went and they caught her on vacation, and what did they do? Continue with the paint. We ran out of bolts. But that happens sometimes, you know, if they don't know what to look for, the paint looks good. But the condition of it is bad, so. I don't know if we can still go out that way or you're gonna go this way, but we're heading back to the room or, I don't know what you want to do. I'm just opening up the question.
Back to the room? Back to the room, yeah.
Back to the room, if they want to sit here, we can just answer questions here, whichever way. Okay, guys, grab a seat. Everybody grab a seat. Just grab a seat. If you guys get over here, and I'll stand over here. Just ask questions, and then if you have questions for me, if you have questions for Kathy, if you have questions for your boss, you know what the procedure's going to be. Just ask. Anybody have any questions? Yeah.
So the super job is to look for the liability and the thing now. To
Right.
fix anything, right?
Yeah, your first job is to say, I've identified, let's say, every building that she has, and she has 6 fire escapes. You say, I've looked at all 6. 3 of them, to me, look like it has all hex heads. Looks like it was repaired and painted. But 2 of them on this address, or whatever address you're going to give her, I see rivets, I see cement problems, and I see original hardware. That's all she needs to know. If you see something broken, she needs to know that right away too. But That's so she can now initiate the next inspection to get it looked at.
And the river in the square head screw is still be good, right?
Yeah, even if the square head bolt and the rivet is good, the only way to guarantee it is a load test. And a load test is too expensive. Cheaper to reinforce that rivet or that bolt, or cheaper to take it out and put a new one in. Because a load test is $5,000 for a load test. This fire escape here to load test, it'd probably be at least $5,000 to load test it. And none of that money buys bolts or paint. That's just to move a bunch of weight around all day long. But that same money can be used to change bolts and fill it with silicone. And then I can guarantee to her that the fire escape has been certified without the need for a load test, because we repaired all the cement, reinforced or replaced every bolt and rivet, and silicone shut every connection.
The load test is in each step.
Huh?
How you load test it? In each step you put
Every platform, every step.
50 pounds?
100 pounds per square foot. So that platform right there, which is 15 feet long, 2 feet wide, is 30 square feet. Times 100 pounds, that's 3,000 pounds. I gotta bring sand, lead, bricks, whatever I have. I gotta put 3,000 pounds on there for half an hour. Then I gotta move 3,000 pounds to the next one for half an hour. Then I gotta move 3,000 pounds to the next one for half an hour. A lot of time, a lot of money, buys no bolts, buys no paint. I use it to pay the guys, you know what I'm saying, to move weight around. That same money you can use to put in new bolts and new cement. Okay, it's called a certified repair. So some of these fire escapes here to the left that have new bolts on the connection, that's a certified repair. Do you have any doubt that a new tread on this side with new bolts in it is going to hurt you? Right? That's not going to hurt you. But what about this 80-year-old rivet over here? Do you think it might go someday?
Yeah.
And is that day tomorrow, or was that day 2 years ago? Because even though it's still there, it's ready to go, you haven't stepped on it correctly for it to go yet. But the day you do, she'll know about it because she's got a maintenance guy that got hurt on the fire escape. And if you fell going down or you fell going up, will determine whether you're coming back to work or not. What other questions you guys have?
So the new, let's say you're gonna fix some of those rivet. The new bolt is in the same hole?
Same hole.
Same hole.
Whatever's cheaper. Right now, if I come here, I'm gonna fix this connection right here. 2 bolts, I have a choice. If that connection is 100% good, no rust, I can put a bolt in between the 2. Keep the originals, put a bolt between the 2. For me to drill out that connection, I need to do a 1/4 inch hole, then I need to open it up to 1/2 inch, as an example. 7 minutes. But with my impact gun, I put an impact gun on those 2 bolts right there, and I either unscrew it or I tighten it and I break it, then I pop it out, put in 2 new bolts, 2 minutes. Which cheaper for Kathy? Drill a backup bolt or pop those 2 old bolts out? When I'm done on this thing that was good, there was nothing wrong with it, but I needed to eliminate an 80-year-old bolt. I'm going to take my caulking gun, because I didn't open it up, and I'm going to caulk around that whole thing with 50-year silicone. Everywhere. Will that connection ever grow in the future with rust? So that's what we're going to do here. So if all those treads are good, and there's no rust in that connection, I'm not going to charge her to take all the treads out and change the bolts. If the treads are good and there's no rust in the connection, I'm not going to drill a hole between each one and take 7 minutes to 10 minutes every single one, re-sharpen my drill bits, and I'll be here forever. I'll put an impact gun on that, and if the impact gun doesn't want to break the bolt, I'll take a little grinder with a cutting disc and I go, pop out the bolt, put in a new bolt, and then that connection, I silicone shut it all around. It's cheaper for her. Now, every connection on a tread or a support that has rust, I have to clean it all out. I have to take it all apart, prime both sides, wire brush it, and before I bolt it together again, I have to fill it with silicone, and then squeeze it and then goop it all up again with silicone. Even the connections into your cement, after I finish the cement work, I have to silicone shut that cement so the water stops getting in there and blowing out your bricks. Everything's about water. You got ice jacking and rust jacking happening here. Ice jacking happens when water gets in between the cement and your steel and it pops all your cement. Ice jacking also happens when water freezes between two pieces of steel and open it up. Rust jacking happens when water gets in between two pieces of steel and it creates rust and it grows. It'll just break two pieces of steel and snap any bolt like we saw. That connection that had a head and a tail and there was nothing in the middle. That's called rust jacking. It eats the shaft and it pops it and it goes away. Any other questions coming up? Because these are all great questions. What other questions you may have? So you guys are not inspectors. You're spotters. And all she needs to know is what buildings that you have in her portfolio that has a fire escape that you have identified that has original hardware and a beautiful paint job. Like, hey, beautiful paint job, but nothing but original hardware. I looked for a couple of square hex heads. I couldn't find any. So she'll mark it down that it needs an inspection.
We're not
By an inspector, yeah.
We're not a repairman either.
No. But if all of a sudden a tread fell when you went to look at it and once fallen, just put a bolt back in it. Just lift it up. It's usually a 3/8 bolt. Just put 2 3/8 bolts. Don't wait for a welding guy to come over there and put it up and charge her $1,000. Just lift it up. But if one is gone today, there's more. Which ones? You don't know. Don't go looking for them. The inspector that she's going to hire is going to look for those. But fix that one. That one bolt, lift it up, and put a 3/8 bolt in there by hand. Don't even have to tighten it. Just put it in and hand tighten with the thing. All you need. Now you've eliminated the liability for her, and she's aware that if one fell today, there's more coming. Any other questions? You guys have a good group here, so I don't know if you want to say anything to them, but free coffee, free donuts, take the rest of the afternoon off. I don't know what she's going to say next, but but thank you very much, for the class. And what I'm going to do is she's going to give me a point person, and this is what we recommend, always having one point person that is the fire escape guy. And everybody who has fire escape problems always goes back through that one guy. And that one guy is in touch with us so that we because he'll bring us photographs, because sometimes you're in a situation, just take a picture. Get the picture back to you or to the point guy, and then we can quickly, no matter where we're at, make an assessment right away, but at least schedule the inspection. So this is more of a fact-finding mission, and today was a perfect one, because we were happy, I'm like, oh my God, they did fix it. They did fix it. Oh, they didn't fix it. Then by the time we got around the building, they didn't fix nothing. But these things happen, it all depends. You don't know what to see. To you, the best thing you saw was a nice paint job, and you were so happy. Oh my God, we spent $100,000 and these things are perfect. No, half this building is perfect. The other half is still waiting to catch one of these guys by mistake. So now, and this has happened. I've had situations where I've helped some buildings who paid $100,000, for example. And they stopped there and they continued on with a paint job. They had to come back and fix this for free because that was part of the contract. And you know how you get them on a contract? You say to the guy, no, we fixed everything. Really? Okay. Come here. Right here. Show me one shiny new bolt on this fire escape. I see the paint job, but I know you fixed you've got a lot of bolts over there, but show me one new bolt here so that I can say, yes, you did fix something. The guy goes, well, show me one cement repair you did on this one. And that's where you catch these guys. Now it's a liability issue and in a situation with a contract fraud. And she'll say, hey, I want this fixed right away. And now the guy's back here for zero money because somebody ripped. So I don't know if that's the case here. This could have been a separate contract. I don't know. She is painted. And this paint looks as good as that paint. It looks like it was all done at the same time. So now it's just a matter of, it's these things we're trying to stop in the future. Guys who do that, and then when nobody's looking, they do this. but the check is green for the full amount of money. So that's what it is. So this was a great class. Thanks a lot for questions.
What about the guys who tell you that, or tell her, that she didn't know, that all we need here is a paint job. That was bad, but here all we need is a paint job.
Well then, because you just took this class,
Yeah.
you'd say, I don't know if you know your job, but you're telling me that that 75-year-old bolt is good?
No, but I'm saying before this class, like if they would have.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of, that's why they're having this class. They don't want, because here's the thing that you have to understand about why we do this. The reason why you leave fire escapes like this with a paint job, you think 5 years from now this will pass or fail if I'm inspecting it. Fail, right? So if this was my contract here, and I kind of fixed those, but I didn't fix these, you think I'm ever gonna get away from this apple? I'm gonna bite it once, I'm gonna bite it twice, I'm gonna bite it as many times as I can. I'm gonna leave something for my kids. So if I don't fix it, guess what I have 5 years from now?
Your kids come in and fix it.
My kids come here and fix it. And over and over and over again. It'll always fail. Every 5 years, it always fails.
One more question. Let's see this there. You know, each ball is old, right?
Yeah? 80 years old.
But that doesn't mean when you expect it, that you're gonna make management change each single one.
It's not that I'm going to make them. The law says two things to prove that it's okay. A load test or refurbishment. So if I have a connection, okay, that's in good condition, the only guarantee is a load test. So sometimes if I got here and this fire escape was 100% good, no rust in any connection, 100% cement was tight into the building, I would say, and let's say I told them that this fire escape to load test it was going to be $5,000, but to change all the bolts was $25,000. What do you think she's going to choose? Load test or change all the bolts for $25,000? So some cases it's cheaper to load test an old fire escape that is 100% good than to change all the bolts. So it's a combination of the two. You know what I'm saying? But I can't guarantee an 80-year-old bolt because she wants from me a guarantee. I have to give her a paper that says, I think an 80-year-old bolt is not going to break. So I need some protection. Do you understand? But if I load test it, there's the guarantee. But if I change it, there's the guarantee. She wants guarantees. So I'll give her a load test or I'll give her a bolt change guarantee. And as soon as we bolt change this one, let's say there's a bolt change, and let's say she spends 10 grand here, changing every bolt because there's no rust, there's just bolt. And we spend 10 grand changing every single bolt on this connection. 5 years from now, any work? 25 years from now, any work? 50 years silicone in every connection. 50 years from now, any work? What about paint job? How many years you gotta paint it? Every 3 to 5 years you gotta paint it, every 5 to 7 years you gotta paint it because paint doesn't last 50 years. Any connection problems? If we change every bolt? No. So once you go through a refurbishment, you're done. If you go through a refurbishment and silicone shut it, you got no more structure. So this building can go once through a refurbishment. I don't care how much it costs, 100 grand, 50 grand, or 250 grand, once. Will I ever be able to bite that apple again in the future? If you did it correctly. And that's all iron needs. It needs cleaning of the rust, priming the two connections before you put them back together, inject it with silicone. Did they have silicone 50, 75 years ago?
No.
Do they have it today?
Yep.
So that's all you have to give this thing is some silicone, clean the connection, no rust in the connection, and then for the next 25, 50 years, it'll always pass. And whenever it doesn't pass because of paint, who's going to be painting it? It's you guys anyway, right? But are you going to be safe on it when you're walking on this fire escape with a structural 100%? You're going to be safe? Because even a bad paint job, will I pass it? So guess who's going to be backup painters in case there's anytime it doesn't pass in the future because of paint? Guess who's going to be the backup painting company? But otherwise, that's our job. So sadly, it's 25, 50, 75 years, but these things have not been maintained. But that has. That has. Any other questions, guys, that you may have for us? Mas alguma pergunta? Hey, have you got anything you want to say? Kathy, anything you want to say to the group?
I guess if they could just hang out for 1 minute. While they're all here, they can just hang out for 1 minute.
Sure. Kathy, how do I get back through the maze to get back to go get my stuff? Somebody will walk me? I mean, I can wait. Kathy, you can do your thing. I'll wait over there. You can
No,
just
that's
have
okay. Do you want to take them back to the community room? Please? Okay.
anywhere you want.
I'll take you back when you're done. It's just